So there's three small pieces of news that I want to tackle here, and I figured we'd just do it all in one segment because they don't really garner enough meat on the bone to really make them big separate things to talk about. One of them has to do with finally some final images of the Nezha Transformers figure. We had both in-package images, loose images now, and because now the toy is pretty much showing up everywhere, and the accessories that it comes with. And then the Generations Guidebook 2020 just started shipping out, and there's two little pieces of information I want to talk about with that. So let's start with Nezha. The Transformers website that's officially used in China of Tmall, the e-commerce website, recently posted a whole bunch of really nice images of this Nezha figure that we talked about just a few days ago. And it's nothing too new from what we discussed before, but we do now know the weapons and accessories that now come with it, which it comes with a staff and a ring accessory. That ring accessory in Nezha's lore would sometimes have it attached to his feet, and he'd be able to fly and everything. It confirms that there is no cockpit mode, just the main chest entry mode. What we saw from the fiction, or the trailer anyhow, is that this is just going to be kind of its own way of saying, hey, it's able to turn into a Transformer, pretty much. You know, like how Nezha turns into a Transformer. I love that they used the typical... I've seen this so many times mostly in Chinese and Hong Kong media, where they'll use a hired European actor to play with their product or to represent their product. They go, hey, even the Westerners like this. And so there's this funny photo of like this white kid pretty much playing with Nezha and going like, this is the coolest thing ever, right? Yeah, I love how they always do that kind of stuff. They do it a lot in a lot of media to kind of like center that, like, hey, our stuff is superior. So, I mean, whatever. Such a weird thing to bring up, but at the same time, it's silly. So, yeah, hey, it comes with a ring, comes with a staff, and it looks interesting. Again, it's that Bumblebee Spark Armor retool with some new accessories and a new gimmick. So, the price that they have here on the website is 169 RMB, which translates to about $23, $24 American. So that's about right for a deluxe. I'm gonna wait. I'll probably see these at TFCon in person, and if I feel like it, I'll pick it up. I mean, this is gonna be something that is gonna be probably bootlegged like crazy from within their own country, and it's gonna be something that is gonna be probably widely available, and we'll have no problem getting this. I mean, if Japanese exclusive stuff that's made specifically for the Japanese region is not difficult for us, then this for a 4.4 billion people country made for their market, we won't have a problem. Now, jumping to the second piece of news, let's talk about the Generations 2020 guidebook and two pieces of information that were put in it that really caught my attention. The first one being they have an interview here essentially talking about the Raiden Masterpiece project. And they had an interview with Kojin Ono, who was one of the veteran designers from Generation 1, along with Hasaki Yuki, which, you know, the guy who worked on Beast Wars 2nd, RID Optimus Prime and all that stuff, and Daisuke, who's the guy who recently worked on best thing that I could probably mention is the G-Shock Optimus Prime Convoy watch is probably his most recent thing. But so they did an interview with them, and they made one interesting mention that Kojin Ono himself is going to be the one working on the design team for this masterpiece, and that it's going to be specifically aimed at train enthusiasts who really like train design and stuff like that. So, I mean, and of course it's going to be a Japanese exclusive thing, but that's kind of a given. Hasbro has talked about in the past how they don't usually do a lot of train Transformers because that market is not as strong as it is in Japan. And I mean, even when we got Astro Train, that first 2006 Astro Train from the Classics line, he turned into a bullet train. He didn't even turn into a traditional steam engine just because of that Takara market and how important that is to them. I mean, just look up Shike Leon, the other Takara Tommy based, transforming robot train series, and you'll see right away how it's a Japanese exclusive thing for that reason. And just throughout the Brave history too, all the trains in relation to that. But anyhow, so yeah, this is going to be aimed at train enthusiasts. It's going to be done by Kojin Ono, and it's going to be a Japanese exclusive. No release date yet, no price, no size, nothing that we know of at the moment. And the last thing, and this one's kind of funny, is it's an interview talking about the creation and just giving little updates on the HasLab Unicron, our huge Unicron. And they were talking about how they were showing like little prototype stuff and how the little minifigs like the Hot Rod and the Galvatron, how they were going to look initially. And one thing that they showed, which was really cool, was they're like, oh, there was also plans for at one point for a base mode. And I swear, I look at this image of this base mode and it just looks like the toy half transformed. I mean, how many of us have made our own fan modes or base modes out of Transformers? I did this when I was a kid. I did this when I was like 5 years old with Blaster. I just lied Blaster down and then moved up his arm and leg and hey, Autobot City. This one, it looks like they just took the Unicron toy, half transformed it, lied it on its back, and then you enter the Unicronian city while he's on his back. Take from that what you will, giggity. The one cool thing to mention about this is if you look carefully at the image, you do have Unicron's little sphere computer TV series thing that he had inside him in the original 86 movie, how he kind of stalked people in a lot of ways. You see that accessory there, which is not present, at least from what we know at the moment, not present with the final product. So it's kind of interesting that that was there. I guess it was probably more planned if there would be a city mode, that it would be a centerpiece of that city mode. I don't know. But that's another interesting thing about it. So not much else to talk about, just those three little things. Let me know what you think about all this news. Let me know what you think of this weird Unicron thing especially. I mean, and let me know if you ever made a fan mode. Like, because this is clearly just, making a fan mode. I mean, I did the same thing when we got Primus. I made like kind of like a weird third mode for Cybertron. I mean, it's something that we've all been guilty of, and now even Hasbro is kind of trying to do it here with our massive Unicron, which I'm kind of glad they didn't, because I think that when you do that kind of stuff and you go out of your way to do that, it hurts the robot mode or the alt mode, and this toy needed to be perfect to begin with.